Hi, I'm John Baker, and I wanted to show you some of the ways that I've been using a new product called the i2M music port by Sonuus. And the i2M is primarily an audio interface as well as a audio-to-MIDI converter. This is what the Sonuus i2M music port looks like. It's a very small, compact box with one audio in jack and a USB out. The hardware includes a small software application that you can use to pre-configure the hardware, and all the changes that you make within the software are downloaded real-time into the firmware within the device. So this is what the software looks like, and you've got 4 separate configurations that can be set up here for guitar, for bass, for woodwinds, for horns, any kind of audio input. This gives you a lot of versatility within these 4 modes. I can go in any one of these modes and configure up to 6 MIDI channels of output. I can set up a chromatic output or use it for pitch bend. And because the device outputs pitch bend and breath control, it works out really great for alto sax or any kind of horn or voice. Once you've got the configurations loaded into the firmware, they're selectable via the small button here on the front, and you get various indication lights on here depending on which mode you're in. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on the ins and outs of the software. You can look up all this information on the Sonuus website, but I will say that the software will allow you to customize the device, so you're not locked into one configuration. You can set it up depending on what your needs are. Let me show you how I've got it set up right now in the studio. And I want to point out that you could use the device for studio setup, for converting audio to MIDI. And you could also use it for live performance, which I plan to do. To begin with, I've got a clip-on microphone on my alto sax, and it's a condenser mic, so it does require phantom power. Then I've got the output from the clip-on mic running into this small Stewart preamp, which provides phantom power to the clip-on mic, and then I can get 1/4-inch audio out. If you're running a guitar, bass, or a dynamic microphone with a 1/4-inch output, you wouldn't really require a preamp. And then through the Sonuus, of course the Sonuus it takes that audio in and does a really fast real-time MIDI conversion, and the data is output through a USB port, which I've got running into a MacBook, and the Sonuus is set up for use with USB 2.0, so you could use it with a PC or a Mac. The USB is providing both an audio output and MIDI output. So in the configuration I'm using, I'm running the i2M into Logic Pro. So I'm taking the audio out of the Sonuus i2M and running that into an audio track here, track 1. Track 2, I have a plug-in called Weavy Band, which is an excellent horn modeler software. And then I've got ES2, which is a bundled Logic virtual instrument, Sculpture, which is also a bundled instrument, and then the EX24, which is a sampler that's built into Logic Pro, and I've got a bass on the EX24 track. Okay, we've got the i2M's work cut out for it. We're going to run audio and 6 channels of MIDI. All right, let's go ahead and record this track. I'm using Easy Drummer for a rhythm track here, running Twisted Kit for kind of an industrial sound. So I'll put on some headphones for monitoring, and we'll do this. Here we go. Let's hit record. Alright, that's the Sonuus i2M music port, and I plan on using this device quite a bit in both the studio and for live performance. Thanks for dropping by. This is John Baker. Adios.